discussing the Mexican drug war. Well, we all know that the Mexican drug war is being fought both in Mexico and the U.S., but what is it? How does it affect us? Why should we care? And do people really know anything about the Mexican drug war? How does the Mexican drug war affect us?
I don't know.
Mexican drug war affect us?
I don't really know.
What is the Mexican drug war?
A war in Mexico.
Well, people obviously don't know anything about the Mexican drug war. Like, for example, first of all, it's not a war on Mexico, but a war on drugs. There is a controversy to who is responsible for the war. Some might say Mexico, because Mexican drug dealers are going to America, transporting drugs, selling drugs, and then smuggling the money back to Mexico. Where in Mexico, there are multiple drug gangs fighting against each other and in the process killing innocent civilians. Mexico supplies 70% of foreign narcotics to the United States and 90% of cocaine to the United States. But Mexico is not all to blame because we Americans are buying the drugs, and doing so we're allowing the drug market to expand throughout Mexico and the United States. So, who is to blame for the war? Certainly not Mexico, and certainly not the United States, but both of us. This affects everyone because there's been thousands of killings these past years due to the war. Since Americans are buying the drugs, and which are certainly not cheap, the Mexican drug gangs have a lot of money, which allows them to buy weapons that are very destructive and allow them to train and use these weapons properly. So we're basically fighting an army, not just a bunch of drug gangs. The use of drugs and drug-related killings have rapidly increased, especially in states near the border. This affects citizens in both countries because immigration levels are at an all-time high because Mexicans are fleeing their home in fear of the drug war and the violence. While more and more Americans are getting easier access to drugs, and the average drug age is getting younger and younger by the second. In all, no one is safe when in this war. So while Mexico is trying to stress the importance of the violence of the war to Washington, but still showing lawmakers that Mexico is not a broken country, they are dealing with the war by having Mexican military take over law enforcement in some of the worst areas of corruption and police forces, which means police officers and courts are taking bribes to basically make the drug gangs above the law, because the drug gangs are either threatening their families or paying them off. So, some American politicians suggest legalization only on certain drugs, especially marijuana, which a lot of it comes from Mexico. This would let individuals grow marijuana or buy it from a local store. So what will be the best solution for this war? Well, right now, as the Mexican military is taking over police enforcement, it is not doing a significant job, and it is not a good solution to end this war, because the military is making civilians complain about violations of their rights, and some have gone as far to say that they're worse than the drug gangs. So, they need to make an effort to take out the corruption in the police forces and the courts, and creating a more effective justice system where the judges and police officers do not accept bribes to hide evidence and give out lenient sentences. Doing this will help end the war, certainly. Also, if legalization came into effect in America.
So Reno, what is the best solution to end the Mexican drug war? I don't really know.
Well, right now, as the Mexican military is taking over police enforcement, it is not doing a significant job, and it is not a good solution to end this war, because the military is making civilians complain about violations of their rights, and some have gone as far to say that they're worse than the drug gangs. So, they need to make an effort to take out the corruption in the police forces and the courts, and creating a more effective justice system where the judges and police officers do not accept bribes to hide evidence and give out lenient sentences. Doing this will help end the war, certainly. Also, if legalization came into effect in America, no one would buy drugs from an illegal drug dealer when they can get it from a local store. And it would be much safer marijuana because there will be no risk of it being lined with other drugs that are more addictive. As a result, we cannot end the war without working together, and we must stop using drugs, because a world with illegal drugs is not a world I want to be in. Thank you.